Hi there. Winning. We make a really big deal about winning things. Winning the football, winning the lottery, winning a job, winning triumph, victory. It seems human beings cannot accept defeat or the conditions that surround it. Even in defeat, we are scrabbling around for some way to make that loss a victory, or are already planning how our next victory will make this defeat insignificant in comparison to the glory. Take our view of Christ upon the cross. Much theological thought considers that the cross is the great and glorious moment of victory, of winning, overcoming the odds. And I suppose if we look at winning as gaining something of benefit against adversity, then it is a win. Perhaps there is some truth in some of the hymns we will once again soon be able to sing. However, in amongst the drive and desire to win, there are various questions to explore. Is there something unhealthy that we do not deal with losing well? It's one thing to cheer on your team and want them to win. Of course we do. But in defeat there are those that despair and become miserable, perhaps even violent in their disappointment. This does not seem especially life-giving a response, and it seems to then drive our desire to win towards greater excesses, the win at all costs approach. Good example of that was the Danish keeper having a laser pointer shone in his eyes recently. This sort of winning can lead to underhand tactics like that, the sabotage of others, dirty tricks, the deliberate disadvantaging of others in order to be victorious. And we certainly see this outside of sporting arenas, in business, in the governance of nations, in war. Winning becomes so preferable to losing as to be worth throwing one's own humanity to one side. You see, it is preferable to win, but not at any cost. Not if it means becoming something false, without integrity, or in a way that degrades, destroys, and deconstructs others. Jesus refuses this type of winning during his trials in the desert. He rejects a victory which would mean the removal of personal suffering, or of dominion over others, and the removal of their own loving free will. Instead, he chooses another way: to suffer in physical pain, shame, humiliation and ridicule, to become nothing and be stripped of any semblance of humanity in the eyes of society at that time. And somehow we need to make sense of this winning without winning, which makes a nonsense of our sense of victory. So much so that we can stand it no longer and we proclaim it a glorious victory anyway. Perhaps it is, even though it is loss. Philosopher and theologian Peter Rollins describes the cross of Christ as the greatest act of punk in human history. I wonder whether, in fact, the cross of Christ transcends any notion we can ever have of victory, of winning. Whether it, in fact, smashes such a binary description of winning or losing. Whether actually It is holiness. 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 Whether the true lesson to take from it is that winning or losing is not at all where our focus should be. That winning should not be the aim of our lives. Rather, that the aim of our lives should be living. Amen.